and gentlemen, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is officially called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Eves. Present. Trustee Lilly.
Present.
Trustee Dunlap.
Present.
Trustee Blakey.
Present.
Trustee Clark.
Present.
Trustee Marshall.
All right. Is there anyone here tonight that is interested in addressing the board? If so, you may address us now. Yes, ma'am. Please stand and state your name.
Sure. I'm Deborah Jones. I have a couple questions, a couple comments, just now or whenever you have time.
Okay.
I was wondering where the ordinances are located on the website, because I'd like to read them in depth. If someone could kindly point me to where I can find them. The last ones I found, I think, were for 2021. I didn't see the one for 2022. So if you guys can help me out with that. And are ordinances like the rules or the laws?
Yes.
So, because I'm concerned about ordinances regarding raggedy cars in driveways.
Okay.
You know, you have a car that's sitting up on, what do you call them?
Blocks.
Well, or the,
Yeah.
Jacks.
yeah, and then with hubcaps and tires sitting on top of it, and it's a horrible sight, but they're in my neighborhood, and
Can you
Something
share
needs to
those
be-
addresses with us can you share the address with us at the end of the meeting?
absolutely.
All right.
I was wondering for Dan, I was kind of wondering about the status of the lawsuits against Lynwood. And in particular in the lawsuit where the cop had the guy, you know, dip your hand and put it in your mouth to make sure that's not pee. I'm curious to know how that's going. I'm also wondering about cars parked on the street at night. And I would like to know what the significance is of the bus house, or you guys are getting us, I don't know what you call it.
Shelter.
A shelter for the bus, and who's paying for it and how many we're getting. Status of the zip code, what's going on with our zip code. So for the fireworks situation, I saw the signs everywhere. I heard fireworks, but I didn't see a cop. And so I was wondering if that was like, the signs were a tactic that you guys thought might stop people from shooting fireworks, but it didn't. Weinrecht is not here. I wrote him 3 times regarding an ID bracelet for my autistic son. Never heard back from him. He was so excited about the program, but I guess that's where it ended because I haven't heard back from him. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Jones, we'll chat after the meeting. We'll answer all your questions. All right, thank you. Yes, sir. Oh,
Good afternoon.
okay.
My name is James Brooks. I have a concern about this letter that I received about the water evaluation. It referred back to last year, July, I think started to July and in October. And there was some question as to whether or not the water was adequate for drinking. And we was failed to be notified. I know that's right after you guys got in. But now this is July again. And I got this letter just a week, maybe a week ago. And it was talking about the water being, from my point of view, unsafe to drink, or drinking water. I don't see the person's name on here. That was supposed to notify him. I thought he would be at the meeting. And I was gonna direct that question to him as to whether or not the water now in Lynwood is safe. Because that's one of my concerns as being a senior citizen.
Absolutely.
And we use the water often. And my question is whether or not the water been tested again, because they said there was some testing that wasn't given to the residents so that we could know whether or not the water was still safe.
Mr.
And
Shalou.
then one of the problems that we've been having out of the southern suburbs about water problems.
Yep.
And so I need to know whether or not I can feel safe with the water, or do I need to go and get me a lot of bottled water?
Gotcha. Dave Shelley.
So is anyone here who can answer?
Village
that
engineer is
question?
going to.
Yes. We assisted, I work for Robinson Engineering, we assisted the water department with preparing that report. That report goes out pretty much, well, it goes out every year, that's the consumer confidence report. And with the amount of tests for chlorine and lead and copper and stuff that the water department has to do on a regular basis, you could probably look up any of the surrounding communities' consumer confidence reports and see that they missed one test or another. We are with, staff coming and going, we are kind of trying to catch up on that. But to answer your question, the water is absolutely safe to drink. The pressure is where it needs to be, the chlorine level is where it needs to be. You go on the Illinois EPA website, you can download anybody else's report, and anybody that gets Lake Michigan water is all gonna have that same kind of thing at the beginning that says, may contain agricultural runoff or fertilizer or, whatever else that could be found in the lake. That's just kind of standard stuff that is on that report, but answer your
Well,
question.
I understand what you're saying there, but there was something on here about lead pipes. I've been here since 2002. Now, I don't know whether we have lead pipes coming from Hammond, where the source come from, and it's coming into our homes, before we get to it.
Lynwood is,
So that was my concern, as to whether or not the piping coming in from Hammond is safe. And if so, we didn't get anything after we got this saying that it had to touch it again. Because this letter here says that you forgot, that nobody let us know.
if
And we
understood, I
still
think,
don't know because we haven't gotten anything since this letter.
yeah, I could talk to the mayor about sending something updated out, but the lead and copper tests are all up to date. Lynwood is very unique. I think that, the oldest water pipe in the village is probably from 1959, and that's well after they stopped using lead service lines. If you were in city of Chicago or Calumet City, somewhere where houses were built in the 20s and 30s with lead service lines, lead pipes, then you'd want to be concerned with something like Flint. But in Lynwood, you're good to go with lead and copper. Everything that comes from Hammond via transmission mains, those are all, cast iron pipes or concrete pipes. It would say in there if there were any, it probably says that the tests were late or not on time, but if there was any that did not meet the requirement, it would say that. And there'd be boil orders issued, or, you'd have a thing like Flint where they notified everybody.
Ma'am?
Yes, my name is Helen Smith. I live on Love Drive, and my concern is we still don't have our pumps in the ponds. And right behind my home is just nothing but algae in the pond. You can't even sit out on your deck for insects. So what is the status? Each time I call, I get a different story. So what is the status?
So-
If someone on the board could possibly address that.
I will address it for you, Ms. Smith, and I was going to, I will address it for you,
Okay.
Ms. Smith, it was a part of the Public Works update for it today, and we've been updating at all of our board meetings. We have 2 of the 5 ponds that were sent out for service that are ready for pickup. They will be picked up tomorrow and installed. The other 3, the parts have been ordered for them, and they will be ready within 7 to 10 days. So once those fountains are completed, our guys will go and pick them up, and then we'll finish the installation. We've already started the algae treatment. It's a treatment over the course of 4 weeks. We've done 2 weeks. This will be week 3, so they'll be out there pouring the solution in again, and then next week will be the last of the treatment. And by the time we do the last treatment, we're hoping that all of the fountains will be back, and the aerator will help speed up the process. Okay. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
We're not gonna address any of my questions.
Well, you had a long list of questions. I can go through them real fast,
Oh.
if you like. Do you want me to get you now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go through as many of them as I can. The ordinances are all on the website. If you click on the tab, I believe, for residents, you'll see an ordinances option, and you click on that, and all of our ordinances will come up. Sometimes there's a lag in between when we vote and pass them here and MuniCode getting them updated, and that's only because there's an outside source that updates the ordinances. For the cars, there is an ordinance for that. That's why I asked for the address and said we would get with you at the end of the meeting. We will gladly take care of that. For the lawsuits, I can tell you that we are still in the initial stages of all of those. So there's no resolve, there's really no real update, particularly for the one that you addressed. But it is.
How many lawsuits are there against Lynwood? I only knew of one, possibly two, but you said all of them, making me think it's more than that.
Yes, we inherited quite a few. This administration inherited quite a few. Yes, we did.
Well, where can I find a status on them? If it's quite a few, I don't want to take up all the time, but I really just kind of curious to know.
Sure, I'm happy to give you an update on it. Yep, not a problem.
May I say something about the ordinances?
Sure.
I'm sorry, what's your name, Ms. Jones? Also with the ordinance, if there's any ordinance that you're looking for, you can see me, and I can help you get whatever one you're looking for.
Well, the thing is, when I'm ready to look at them, I'm at home in the bed, flipping through, so let me call you at home or?
I'll give you my cell number.
But if there is something specific that MuniCode has not updated, and you're looking for it, just shoot Karen an email because she is the record keeper for the village.
Okay.
Zip code project, we have submitted everything. I'm actually scheduling a meeting with Congresswoman Kelly to further discuss and get her support. I saw her last week, so I'll be having a one-on-one with her to see if she can help us move that along a little faster. It's a process. It takes a couple of years to get completed, but we've started with the initial submission of the paperwork along with our packet that outlines all of the reasons why the Village of Lynwood should have its own zip code.
So is it a matter of somebody following up to make sure that it's moving forward, or do we just know that it's just a wait and see for 2 years?
It's a process. It takes a couple of years. That's just a fact. And the follow-up is happening. The follow-up comes from my office.
Yes.
Because I want us to have our own zip code.
Yes.
So I'm aggressively pursuing it.
Okay.
Yes. For the ID bracelet, we will definitely follow up with Sergeant Weinbrecht and make sure that your son gets his ID bracelet. And the chief will address the fireworks during his report.
You want me to address the pay shovels?
No, we can do it later, yeah. All right, we're good? Thank you, ma'am. All right. Anyone else? All right, we will move on. Is there a motion to approve the board minutes dated June 14, 2022? Motion by Dunlap, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
That motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the board minutes dated June 28, 2022?
Supported.
Motion by Clark, supported by Lily. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to our standing committee reports, starting with Public Works.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The chipper will be out next week for tree branches and limbs. No other wood, just tree branches and limbs. Reminder that all of our parks in town close at dusk. And that's the end of my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Blakey.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to first thank Ms. Jones and Ms. Smith. Good to see you. And Mr. Brooks, good to see you. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you for your contribution to the meeting. In terms of economic development, the village is still waiting to hear from MWRD relating to the permits for Dunkin' Donuts to start construction at Glenwood, Dyer Road, and Torrance Avenue. I want to thank all of the residents for your continued support of our local businesses. When we support our local businesses, that makes our village even more stronger. We want to highlight a brand new business in the village called Blueprint Spa Nails and Waxing and Blueprint Barber and Beauty Spa. They are located at 2545 Glenwood Lansing Road. Blueprint offers barber, hairstylist, nails, waxing, and facials. If you need any of those services, please consider supporting them. They're a brand-new business that just opened up this past week. And as a village, we are grateful for all the new housing stock that is coming to the village of Lynwood, which is another true sign of the growth and vitality of the village. That's all I have for economic development. Can I move on to community affairs?
Yes.
I want to thank all of the businesses and the residents who supported the Independence Day Parade on July the 2nd, as well as Lynwood Reformed Church, who hosted our staging area prior to the parade. In addition, we wanted to thank the shrimp and chicken food truck that serviced us after the parade. It was a great day, and we really appreciate everyone's support. Mayor Curry and I met with the Wellington Court HOA concerning the Pace bus shelter that will be placed at the corner of 201st and Torrance Avenue. The meeting was productive, and we answered all of the questions that were posed. Community Affairs Committee will once again host the Kids Zone at the Lynwood Fest, and we will be meeting soon to communicate the responsibilities as well as determine volunteers. Mayor Curry has a special announcement about our Lynwood Little League this evening, but I wanted to say congratulations to our Lynwood Little League, who came in second place. We are currently identifying subdivision liaisons for the following subdivisions for the purpose of efficient communication. That's Haven Estates, Oakwood Manor, Lake Lynwood, Sunstead Farms, Alpine Village, Paradise Park, Wellington Court, Sand Ridge Estates, Ombre Estates, Spring Meadows, and the Meadows. The only ones that we need liaisons for right now are Spring Meadows, the Meadows, and Sand Ridge Estates. So if you're interested in being a liaison, please let me know. And then just want to highlight our upcoming events. We have Linvinia next, that's happening on July the 23rd. We have the White Sox game that's happening on July 29th. Our Six Flags Youth Day is happening on August the 5th. We have Lynwood Fest on August the 13th, and then our final movie night is happening on August 19th. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Planning and zoning, Trustee Lilly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have nothing to report on planning and zoning as no meetings have taken place in the last period. May I move on to ordinances and resolutions?
Yes.
Very good. I'm looking for a motion for ordinance number 22-25, second read action taking, an ordinance to place a question of public policy on the November 8th, 2022 ballot, requesting legal voters in the village of Lynwood to decide whether the village should adopt term limits for their elected officials.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Supported.
Motion by Lilly, supported by Dunlap. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, thank you. This is the ordinance that you had approved on first reading at your June 28th meeting. The effect of this ordinance, if passed, would be you would be placing a referendum question on the ballot for the November 2022 election. The question that would be on the ballot would be whether to impose a term limit of 4 consecutive 4-year terms for village president, village clerk, or village trustee. Okay. You currently have a term limit on those offices of 2 consecutive 4-year terms, so which was approved at the 2020 election that was held on March 17th. So it would be a binding referendum. If the board passes this ordinance tonight, the question goes on to the ballot. If the referendum passes, that would be your new term limit for consecutive 4-year terms. If the referendum failed, the current term limit of 2 consecutive terms would remain in place. Okay.
Roll call. I think, is it out of order?
Yeah, you're really not in
Yeah.
public comment.
Yeah,
We're happy
we're
to
not-
talk to it afterwards.
Yes, at the end. No. But I'm happy to talk to you at the end of the meeting. I'm happy to talk to you at the end. We'll answer all your questions. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a motion to table resolution number 22-27, which is a first read, no action taken.
Okay.
We need me to read through this particular item.
There's a motion to table. Is it supported?
supported.
Motion by Lilly, supported by Dunlap. Do you want to comment on that, or no?
Yeah, sure. The resolution itself concerns the renewal of a Class 8 certification, which is a tax benefit certification that's provided to qualifying businesses. This particular Class 8 certification would be for the property at, pardon me, 19825 South Stony Island Avenue. I believe the basis for the tabling is that we're still waiting for some follow-up information from the property owner.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Motion to table carries.
On to the next item. I have a motion, I'm seeking a motion for resolution number 28-28. First
22.
read, no action taken.
22-2.
Is it 22-28? Thank you. First read, no action taken, a resolution declaring as surplus property the village-owned parcel of real property at 19801 Torrance Avenue, authorizing the sale of the property and directing that the appraisal of the property be made available for public inspection.
There's a motion. Is it supported? Motion by Lilly, supported by Eves. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, this is basically an update of a resolution that you passed, I believe, back in January of this year, when you initially declared this property as being surplus. The reason it's coming back to you for reapproval, I guess, is that in the resolution, you would also be approving the hiring of a real estate broker to market the property on behalf of the village. Under the municipal code, when that happens, the terms of compensation for that broker have to be included in the resolution. When you initially acted on this back in January, you were not using a broker, so the resolution was for sale of the property by village staff.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have one final item. I'm seeking a motion on resolution number 22-29. First read, no action taken. A resolution declaring as surplus property the village-owned parcel of real property at 19501 Torrance Avenue, authorizing the sale of the property and directing that the appraisal of the property be made available for public inspection.
All right. Do you want to comment further on that? Oh, there's a motion by Lilly. Is it supported? Motion by Lilly, supported by Clark. Any further comment?
No, the same comment I had on the prior resolution, 22-28, would apply to this resolution as well. It's reapproval because of the hiring of a broker, so the resolution needs to set forth compensation for that broker.
Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries. Trustee.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, I'm finished.
Thank you. Health and Wellness, Trustee Clark.
Okay, first I want to just start off by saying that Lynwood, thanks to the village and the mayor and the police department with our signs being up about the fireworks, we have had possibly like very limited firework injuries. And being in Cook County, on the 4th of July, there were so many injuries that came in. The stats, I didn't quite finish doing the stats, but there were a lot in the village, in the city of Chicago. I've had clients with 3 fingers blown off at the age of 14 and face burned up at the age of 4 and 5. And so I just want to thank Lynwood for those who were compliant, setting off those fireworks. We do know we had a few that did these things, snuck them in there, and I just want to ask that you just refrain. Don't do the fireworks. Those injuries are serious, and while you think that you know these fireworks are safe, they are not. Those fuses go short, especially those C4. We've seen so many, oh my God, you just don't even want to know about the carnage that came through. So, Lynwood, please, let's just go ahead, recognize and be compliant with the fireworks and stop, and just stop, stop. Now, I wanted to thank some of our residents who's always trying to improve Lynwood. We have one of our residents, Kelly, that brought up an idea. We've got to take it before the board and see if we can get funding for it, but it's a nice idea about doing some things with our parks. So just want to recognize our all of you Lynwood residents for being involved and trying to keep Lynwood healthy, safe, and strong. Now, for the month of July, the national awareness, there are a few, but I want to go ahead and start with the COVID. As you know, Omicron has 6 different variants, and this last variant is proven to be something else. We are now back at medium risk. As of July 8th, there were 17 new reported cases just in Lynwood, which is a 30% increase. Even though Lynwood, we are at 50% of residents receiving 2 vaccines, we can do better. Now, I know everyone has their own opinion about that, but I just wanted to let you know, now through July 15th, Cook County Health is offering a $100 Visa gift card for those who want to get vaccines. It's for the initial vaccination. It is for your booster vaccination, and they're starting as early as age 6 months and up. So if you want that information, just go to vaccine.cookcountyillinois.gov, or you can call the hotline 833-308-1988 between the hours of 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The FDA did approve Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for 6 months to 4 years. Again, the new national number 988 has gone live. This is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and Veterans Crisis Line. If you know of anyone who's having emotional distress or suicidal crisis, please call this number instead of 911. They'll get more help for you to talk a person off the ledge. Now, Roe versus Wade. This is not my opinion, but this is information, because I do believe in a woman's right to choose. And with Roe versus Wade being overturned, I just want to get information out there so people will not be distraught. Here in Illinois and Cook County, we are a freedom of choice state. Even though the Illinois state law affirmatively provides a right to reproductive health care, including termination and maternity care. So whichever way you choose, it's okay, but just know that you have choices. It did not end anything for us. And the state still has access to termination services. As far as birth control, someone asked me that question. By you having insurance here in Illinois, even though maybe Medicaid, by it being an FDA-approved drug, it is still covered. It's still covered. Okay. Now, this week for our July is National Hepatitis Awareness Week. It is actually National Therapeutic Recreation Massage Week and Take Care of Yourself Month. National International Group B Beta Strep Awareness Month. A lot of people may not know what that Group B Beta Strep is, but if you are a nurse or in the reproductive health department, you know that this Group B Beta Strep is something that can make your child retarded or blind if born. So you want to make sure that you get tested for that if you are pregnant. Otherwise, it's something that resides in our GI tract and not to be worried about it. National Fragile X Awareness Month, National Baked Bean Month, National Hot Dog and Ice Cream Month, National Blueberry Peach Month, and National Picnic Month. It is National Culinary Arts and Grilling Month, National Cell Phone Courtesy Month, National Hemp Month, World Watercolor Month, National Parenting Gifted Children Week is the 3rd week of July, and National Anti-Boredom Month. And also, the week of July 12th is the week of Major League All-Star Baseball game. And we'll have our little leagues here later, and the mayor will do something. She's got something wonderful. She talked about loving up on those little kids, and I just appreciate that. So that's all I have for Health Above.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Eves.
Good evening, everyone. Motion to approve bill payment memo 1449, total cash disbursement of $251,768.35, which includes a payroll for the period of June 12th through June 25th, 2022, in the total amount of $142,615.05.
There's a motion. Is it supported?
Supported.
Motion by Eves, supported by Dunlap. Roll call.
Eves.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries.
Okay, the village is also gonna host a community yard sale on July 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can rent the space for $20. Those $20 will go towards our Village Scholarship Fund for our high school seniors, which we will be presenting at the Lynwood Fest on August 13th. The community yard sale, is going to be at Liberty Memorial Park, 3107 Glenwood Dyer Road. If you have any questions, you can email myself at ceves@villageoflinwood.net or .com, or you can call me at 708-935-5803, and you can also sign up here at the Village Hall. So please come and support. Like I said, again, this will go towards our high school senior scholarship that we will be presenting on August 13th. And that concludes my.
Thank you.
Those seniors all living in Lynwood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All righty. You actually have an appropriation ordinance. I'm sorry.
Good job. Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, and one last thing, as far as the community yard sale, the items that you do not want to take back home, you can't leave them, and we will donate them to a local charity. Okay? One man's junk is another man's treasure. A motion to approve appropriation, well, this is the second read, appropriation ordinance number 22-26, second read, an ordinance pursuant to section 2-748 of the Code of Ordinances of the Village, which requires that the Board of Trustees, within the first quarter of each fiscal year, pass an annual appropriation bill appropriating the sum of money as may be deemed necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the village. Supported.
Motion by Eve, supported by Clark. Attorney Boyle.
Yes, thank you. The ordinance that's on the table here, the appropriation ordinance, was approved for first reading at the board's June 28th meeting. However, the municipal code requires that there be a published notice and opportunity for a public hearing on the appropriation ordinance before the public body takes action to pass the ordinance. That notice was published in the Daily Herald, I believe, on July 3rd. So the requisite 10-day notice period under the municipal code has not yet passed. My recommendation, therefore, is you continue the second read to your July 26th meeting and schedule your public hearing for that same date on the 26th, which is what is the date that's listed in the published notice. So you would need a motion to continue second reading to July 26th.
Do we need to table the original motion?
No, you're not, just continue it.
All right. Is there a motion to continue the second read?
So moved.
Motion by Lilly, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Eves,
Yes.
Lilly,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Blakey,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Okay. That motion carries. Thank you. Public safety. Trustee Blakey.
I would move that we table this item, Mayor, until the next meeting.
Can you read the item, please?
The item is the approval to promote the next officer on the most recent sergeant exam list.
Okay, there's a motion by Blakey, and it's supported by Clark. Thank you. Roll call.
Eves,
Yes.
Lilly,
Yes.
Dunlap,
Yes.
Blakey,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to our department head report, starting with Chief of Police Dan Dempsey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On July 5th, 2022, Lynwood officers were conducting a premise check on First Savings Bank of Hegewisch, located on Torrance and Glenwood Dyer Road. Officers noticed a suspicious vehicle in the parking lot. There were 3 subjects in the vehicles. As officers approached, while officers were speaking with the occupants, they noticed a strong odor of marijuana coming from inside the vehicle. The officers asked the occupants to step out of the vehicle. As one of the passengers stepped out of the vehicle, he began to reach into his waistband. An officer grabbed the subject, began to struggle with him. The officer was able to control the subject and pulled a Glock 40 caliber handgun loaded with 19 rounds from the subject's waistband. This subject was taken into custody, read his Miranda rights, stated that he found the gun in Dalton and kept it for protection. Subject was charged with unlawful use of a weapon. The second subject was charged with possession of marijuana, and the third subject was released without charges. On July 2nd, 2022, Lynwood officer was stopped at the light on Lincoln Highway at Glenwood Dyer Road when a vehicle traveling eastbound in the westbound lane nearly struck the officer's vehicle. The driver crossed back over into the eastbound lane. The officer turned around to stop the vehicle. The officer activated his emergency lights as the offending vehicle traveled over the bridge. It struck the passenger side against a concrete wall. The vehicle stopped at Sauk Trail. As the officer spoke with the driver, who was from Minnesota, he provided a driver's license, stated there was a loaded gun under his front seat. Officers asked the driver to step out of the vehicle. The driver struggled to gain his balance. The driver slurred his words and appeared highly intoxicated. The driver was asked to conduct a field sobriety test, which he refused and became belligerent. The driver was handcuffed and, when being placed in the back of the police vehicle, kicked the officer, refusing to get in the car. The driver was eventually placed into the police car, transported to the Lynwood Police Department, where he was charged with numerous traffic violations, including driving under the influence and resisting a police officer. The gun was confiscated, and Minnesota was contacted and advised of his arrest to have his concealed carry permit revoked. On July 8, 2022, officers responded to a call of shots fired in front of 20738 Bensley Avenue. When officers arrived, they recovered 9mm shell casings and 45 shell casings. Detective was called to the scene. Officers, along with our detectives, spoke with neighbors who provided them with a video and a description of the offending vehicles. Detectives were able to identify one of the offending vehicles that passed by one of our flock cameras. This vehicle has been placed on the hot list, so it will pop up as wanted with all agencies with flock cameras. The license plate on the vehicle is stolen, so they are unable to identify the driver at this time. A photograph of the vehicle was given to a neighbor, so he may distribute it to other neighbors in the event they see this vehicle again. This incident is being investigated by our detective division. I would like to thank Road of Science for making and donating our beautiful 10-foot by 18-foot National Night Out banner. The banner will be put up this week at Liberty Memorial Park, where National Night Out will be held on August 2nd. Crime stats from July 28th through July 11th, there were 11 arrests, 97 traffic stops, 60 citations, 50 building checks, 8 domestic disturbance, and we recovered 11 firearms. The first fireworks call we had was on July 1st. There was 1. On July 2nd, there were 2. July 3rd, there was 1. And on July 4th, there was a total of 11. So a total of 15 calls with 5 citations issued, and the other calls were unfounded. I did receive a number of voice messages thanking the village for a strong police presence on July 4th, as well as thanking us for putting up the signs. I also want to thank the fire chief and his personnel for their assistance on the 4th of July and his continued support. I can tell you last year at this same time, from June 25th through July 11th, there were 31 fireworks calls, so we cut it in half. So it is a work in progress. I do believe the signs did work, and next year we have an idea of making them available to the residents, so if anybody wants them, just so we can have more out there. So it is going in the right direction. There were 0 injuries too, by the way. Our flock camera that we moved to the intersection of Route 30 and Glenwood Dyer Road has read nearly 91,000 license plates in the last 10 days since it's been active. And we have started advertising for our police test that will be held on August 27, 2022. The applications can be picked up at the Lynwood Police Department for free. The deadline for the applications is August 19th. We will be going to local colleges and meeting with criminal justice students who want a career in law enforcement. You can also find the information on the Blue Line website. Mayor, that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief Dempsey. We'll move on to Fire Chief Keenan Newton. We'll get you at the end.
So I would like to go ahead and start with our call volume for the last period, which was from June 26th through July 9th. We had a total of 76 calls, and looking at our records, that this may be actually a record number of calls within a 2-week period. First of all, I want to state that none of these calls are related to fire or fireworks or anything of that nature. For that 2-week period, we didn't have one call for an actual fire. We did have 52 medical calls, which is usually 52 is the number of the total calls we usually have in a 2-week time period. It could be heat related, but we just had, for whatever reason, we had a more than normal amount of medical calls. We were requested once by a town, but we were returned before we actually got to the scene, so we were dispatched and canceled en route. We did provide station coverage for one call because Dyer, Indiana did have a structure fire, and we supported them. We had a total of 5 motor vehicle accidents, 3 gas leaks, 5 smoke scares, so someone sees smoke or thinks he sees smoke, usually it's steam or something of that nature, and we investigated. We had 1 electrical wires down. We had 6 fire alarms. We had 1 request for a drone team for a missing victim in Dalton. And lastly, we had 1 animal rescue, well, actually 4 animal rescues. We rescued 4 baby ducklings out of the sewer system over by 195th Street. So we did get all 4 of them out. It was a lot challenging because those little guys can move really, really fast. So again, I just kind of mentioned, we average about 4 calls a day, and we're starting to get more and more volume of calls. Yesterday was a record in a 24-hour time period. We had a total of 15 calls, and we usually don't get something of that magnitude unless there's a natural disaster like a tornado going through the town. So getting 15 calls in one day is really, really significant for this village, but it happened yesterday. Just a staffing update for everybody. We've got 2 people who will be starting the academy this fall. I'm hoping to get 1 more into the academy. If you know anybody interested in joining the fire department, we will train you as long as you can pass a medical screening, a background screening and agility test. We'll send you to the fire academy EMT school. Right now, we still have 10 applications that are mid-process for more applicants down the road. And some of them are new people, and some of them are lateral transfers from other departments. An update on our ambulance service RFP. We did get some inquiries to come in from potential vendors. We got a total of 2, but due to the time constraints of the RFP, no proposals were actually made, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. The fire department is going to review with the stakeholders, the mayor, and with our current service provider as well, just to see what the next steps are going to be. But in the interim, just so everybody's aware, Bud's Ambulance will continue to provide emergency ambulance services for the village. And lastly, I'd like to remind everybody about our residential smoke detector program. It's sponsored by the state. They donate smoke detectors to the fire department, and then we'll come out and inspect your smoke detectors to make sure that they're healthy. Typically, though, you don't need to do this unless your house is 20 to 30 years of age at least. So if you have a newer home, you probably don't need it. But we'll check them out. We'll make sure that they're working properly, and if it's appropriate, we'll go ahead and replace them for you. And Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief Newton. Engineering, David Schilling.
Thank you, Mayor. I have in front of me the plat of annexation for the Franciscan property. They're pretty excited. They've been calling me about every other day, asking what the status is. So if the mayor and clerk could meet with me briefly to sign, I will get that sent downtown tomorrow morning. In related note, we did finish the review of the American Muslim Cemetery that was recently annexed as well. The first engineering review on that looks pretty good. And we've also been in contact with the owners of the other parcel between 394 and the cemetery. They're starting to get their plans together for, I think, a truck-related development that they're gonna put there. So that's good news for tax revenue for the village. And then lastly, it is July, so I'm hoping any day now we hear from the county. If you recall, we did apply for $200,000 of CDBG money for some streets. As a reminder, the CDBG areas are limited. They have to be low to moderate income. So I think the streets we applied for are roughly between 198th and 201st near Torrance Avenue. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. I will provide the Public Works update tonight. I shared at the beginning of the meeting that there were a total of 5 fountains that were sent out for repair. 2 are ready and will be picked up tomorrow and will be installed. And the other 3, the parts have been ordered and as soon as they complete repair, we will pick them up. We're anticipating 7 to 10 days on the final 3. If you have not noticed, please take a minute to look around the village. We've been working on some beautification projects, so you will see in our flower beds at our parks and outside of Village Hall, we have flowers now. Bloom Township donated flowers. We have added mulch to most of those beds. If you live near 201st and Torrance, that median, you probably saw Public Works out there today. They remulched, dug up the weeds, got rid of those 2 trees that had no place there, and they painted the curb yellow. So it is looking really good. At Lakeview Park, we are scheduled to have all of the bleachers painted. We're hoping by the end of the week. I'm sorry we didn't make it in time for your season, but we will have them nice and pretty for your next season. The curb in front of Village Hall has been painted. Village Hall's been power washed. Flower boxes painted. All of the signs at our parks are being painted. We are replacing all of the Welcome to Village of Lynwood signs. If you notice, they are in pretty poor shape. And so we're working with Rhoda. We have a draft of what the new sign will look like. I'm happy to share at the end of the meeting. But we should have all new signs within the next 30 days. The gazebo and the annex at Liberty Park will also be painted, and there'll be a new sign outside of Village Hall. And that is it for Public Works. Finance, Kimberly Switterick.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to go over the bond and loan and equipment loan debt. As of current, we have paid off all our equipment loans, which consisted of 2 lighting project loans, a fire truck loan, a software loan, and a Public Works equipment loan. For our bonds, we only have 2 outstanding bonds. We have a 2006 bond, which will be paid off November of 2027. And we have a 2012B bond, which will be paid off this December. So before this year is completed, we will only have 1 bond outstanding for our long-term debt. This does not include AP debt, which I will cover that at the next board meeting. And that completes my report.
So for those of you that are new to our board meetings, or you haven't had an opportunity to watch them on YouTube, this is huge. In a little over a year, we've paid off probably $1.5 million in debt that the village had been carrying for years. We are aggressively attacking this debt and trying to balance out maintaining the village so that we can continue to push us forward and get new equipment, expand our police and fire departments, as well as Public Works. So we are trying to do right by your money, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. So thank you for your oversight. Building Department, Ms. Hurley.
The number of permits issued between the dates of June 29th to July 12th are 40 permits at a permit total of $9,740 in terms of permit fees. The valuation of all of these permits are $717,011. We are currently set to issue another 24 permits by Friday, and currently permit turnaround is 5 to 7 business days, with the exception of home remodels, new home builds, or if you're doing a gut renovation, that turnaround could take a little bit longer. Want to remind the residents that when you are in receipt of your permit, please display your permit in the front window where it's visible to the street. So as the inspector is driving by and see work being performed, they already know it's permitted. They don't have to stop. Want to remind you about permit fees. They're based on the cost of materials and labor. So permit fees go this way. They're $20 per thousand up to $10,000. After $10,000, they're $8 per thousand. It's $8 per thousand thereafter. And inspections are $35 each. Want to also remind residents that compliance inspections are required whenever there's a change of occupancy. So if you are a renter or you own a rental property, when you change occupants, you should have a compliance inspection, as well as the sale of your property. When you sell a property, you should have a compliance inspection before you close on said property. If there are any additional questions or concerns, You may call us at 708-758-6101. That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Hurley. Attorney Boyle,
No report.
Madam Clerk.
Yes. Yes, I'd like to report that our vehicle stickers are on sale currently, and the cost is $48. This price will be in effect until July 31st. Beginning August 1st, the vehicle stickers will go up to $96. So please make sure you get your vehicle stickers now and display them on your vehicles. If you are aware of any seniors and/or anyone who may be disabled, please have them contact Bloom Township for qualifying information for grass cutting, if they need help with grass cutting, and then soon to be snow removal services. I just want to report that Open Lands, which is a company that we used for our tree planting, if you've gone by Luna Land, the dog park, we have beautiful trees over there. They were donated by Open Lands. They're also having another planting day this fall. So if you are interested in receiving a beautiful tree on your property, please get in contact with me. I think the planting day will be sometime in August or September. And then lastly, I wanted to just let everyone know that I am getting more solicitation license requests from solicitors. If you have someone that's coming to your house, make sure they have a license from, well, a solicitor's license from our office. We do a background check on these solicitors to make sure that they are legit and that their company is legit. So if they don't have that solicitor's license, let them know that they need to come to the Village Hall and get the solicitor's license before they can continue soliciting in the Village of Lynwood. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just have a couple of things. I want to offer condolences to the family of Trustee Elizabeth Rakes and the Village of Moni. She passed away unexpectedly. I also want to offer condolences to the family of Trustee Donald Meeks and the Village of Mattison. Two huge losses for the public servant community and within 1 week. So the Village of Lynwood will continue to pray and offer support to those families as well as those villages. And last but not least, I want to say congratulations to Lynwood's Little League 6th District champions. They made it downstate and came in second place, which is phenomenal. Awesome. You all are rock stars in our book. We are so excited that you represented the Village of Lynwood so well. So we have certificates for each of you. I'll call your names and have you come forward. Eric Talbert Jr. Congratulations. Deshaun Reed Jr. Congratulations. Kelvin Haywood Jr. Zion Green. Nathan Weathers. Taylon Watkins. Xavier Green. Smiles are killing me here. TJ Hardiman. Ed Servant. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Lynwood Pirates and our champions. Now, as you all know, these young people would be nothing without an amazing support system, so we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge their amazing support system. Deshaun Reed, President and Coach of Lynwood Little League. Chris Olsen. For those of you who don't know, Chris has been with Little League forever. When you see that guy out there riding on the lawnmower, taking care of the fields, that's Chris. He does it on his own dime, doesn't charge the village a thing, just takes pride in those baseball diamonds and these young people. Mark Watkins, coach of Lynwood. Aaron Tallberg, Vice President. Mr. Sean Payne. And Jasmine Fleming. It's a good chance to take a picture of the All-Stars, so. I'm gonna jump in one picture just so we can. All right. Big smiles, guys. Smile. All right, we got it? All right. Because this is a celebration, we have punch and cupcakes. We like to party in the village of Lynwood. So after the meeting, I would love for all of you to stick around and love on these young people and congratulate them. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. It always makes my heart smile to see residents come out so that they can be informed and that they can take this information back to their neighborhoods and share with their neighbors. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I got you. I got you. I didn't forget you. I didn't forget you. I got you. Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay. Motion by Dunlap, supported by Clark. Roll call.
Eves. Lilly.
Yes.
Dunlap.
Yes.
Blakey.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
That motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Ms. Jones?